Hello, and thanks for joining me for my expert guide to how property insiders get the best price for their home. Of course, it's much easier to negotiate top dollar when demand is high, but with the current market rather more unpredictable, I think it's worth approaching the question of price tactically. You need to be more strategic. You want to start with some solid research yourself. Find out about the local housing market and find out about prices of comparable properties that have sold recently in your area, so you know in your own mind what is a good and sensible and fair and achievable ceiling price. And then you'll know whether any offers you receive further down the track are realistic. Your estate agent is a great ally in this process. Since most agents' fees are based on a percentage of the selling price, then it stands to reason they should be highly motivated to help you get the best price. But they'll also want to be realistic themselves about what's actually achievable in the market at the time. When choosing an agent, I do recommend looking for the Propertymark logo. Propertymark agent. Working with them tells you that the agent has voluntarily signed up to higher standards of professionalism, conduct, and ethics, and that they will comply with all necessary regulations. And there is a link with this episode that will help you find your local Propertymark estate agents. My second tip is to get your property not just market ready, but sale ready. And by that I mean being ready for the whole conveyancing process right from the word go. Gather all of your guarantees for replacement windows and building safety certificates and records of boiler servicing and all those other different bits that you're going to need. You are going to need them. If your buyer sees that you're serious and you're prepared for the sale, well, it might follow that your agent will be able to leverage that as a benefit during the negotiation. There is a super handy property information questionnaire that your Propertymark agent can give you that lists everything that you need to prepare for a sale. So these kind of questions don't hold up the process. Do it, I promise you it helps. Once you receive an offer, my advice is then to be flexible when negotiating the price. You need to clearly communicate your expectations. You need to be transparent about the reasons for your asking price. You need to be able to justify the price that you're suggesting. And while your agent will handle the majority of your negotiations, you must ensure that you're available to discuss options and answer any further questions. You need to be open and communicative. Next, try and understand your prospective buyer. What's likely to be important to them? For example, if they're in a hurry to move, well, they might be willing to pay a higher price for a quicker sale. If you are in the happy position of receiving multiple offers for your property, then yes, you can expect to negotiate a higher price. Your agent can, at that time, notify people viewing your home. They can let them know that there's been a lot of interest and that you might well be generating more offers because of that demand. It does have to be genuine, though. You could, if you get lots of interest, consider going to a sealed bid or a best and final situation. And this is when you or your agent on your behalf invites offers from prospective buyers. If there's multiple interest, that's the way to kind of generate some competition. Everybody then submits their highest, their best offer in a sealed envelope or in an email, which is then opened and compared by you and your agent at a designated time, and you're able to determine the winning offer, who you actually want to do business with. Another top tip for trying to leverage the best possible price is just think about removing yourself from a property chain. Everybody knows that being in a chain can be frustrating and hold up the moving process. And of course, delays to that process are the number one reason why sales fall through. It's frustrating for buyers, it's frustrating for sellers, everybody's involved in the chain. So if you have the ability to come out of a chain by selling before you buy your next property, well, it makes your sale more straightforward and potentially therefore more desirable. The usual option would be to move into a rental home until your situation is complete. However, you do need to weigh up the cost implications of this versus the extra that you hope to gain on your asking price. Including extras can also be used in negotiations to try and bump up the offer. Items such as the furniture or things like white goods can be particularly appealing for first-time buyers. Buyers often take the opportunity to try and haggle the price down if they discover faults with the property once the survey has been completed. So again, my advice there, make sure that the maintenance is bang up to date before putting your home up for sale, so you can then head off any last-minute attempts at reductions in price. Don't want to be tackling those last minute, it's very stressful. Another tactic to nudge a buyer's offer closer to the price that you'd like is actually by declaring the price at which you will take the property off the market. This can be very appealing as it minimises the risk of the buyer being outbid by another party further down the track, and it gives them comfort. However, I would say that if you do that, you will need to honour the agreement and remove the property from sale or viewings or all marketing. If you don't, you absolutely risk losing the buyer. You'll upset the buyer and they'll wander off. Discuss the tactic with your agent, as they will really be able to gauge if that's something that would be desirable for the buyer and indeed advantageous for you. Finally, always have a clear idea of your minimum acceptable price, and just be prepared to walk away from the negotiation if the buyer or buyers are unwilling to meet your expectations. It's much easier if you've had that thought, had that discussion. I hope these tips have given you confidence to go for top dollar if that's the bit that's important to you, but as I say, there are other things at play. Do make sure that you subscribe to this channel and join me again for more expert tips on the best buying and selling tactics. I'll see you then.